the right answer, but make them feel like they're a part of the conversation and they'll have a choice, because it makes them much more receptive to what you're trying to initially get them to do anyway.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you don't need no bunch of you don't need to go in with 50 different strategies to try to get them to regulate in those things. You just need to find 2 or 3 that work, and let's just continue to reuse them. But also be open to, if something isn't working, which you're able to do because you noticed that the change in music was changing and things of that nature, being open to changing them and finding a new thing once the other one doesn't work anymore.
Got you.
Yeah. So biggest takeaways from today. Let's renew and figure out what that toolkit we're going to use to help them regulate. Let's be able to regulate ourselves by continuing to lower our voice before we raise it. And let's give them a choice in the matter when we are trying to get them to calm down, or we're trying to get them to do something. Let's give them a voice, because it makes it much easier for them to give in to what we want them to do as kids.
Got you.
Yeah, I think those are the biggest 3. And because, man, don't nobody know what they're doing. You know what I mean? We're trying to do the best we can. So you got to be okay with yourself saying, I'm trying to relearn my babies. I haven't had them in X amount of time. They haven't been around me. So I'm trying to figure out if some of the coping mechanisms we used to use to help them calm down in the past, do those things even still work? Like you said, you notice yourself, they're changing, where now worship music is more of I think you said Devontae, right?
Devontae.
Right. You said that's more of his thing now, right? In the past, it may have been something else. And you notice with Aiden, he just wants to talk. He just wants to be able to talk and verbalize what's going on with him. So let's ask ourselves, are those things still working? If so, great. Let's keep using them. But if I do try to use the counting method and holding them and hugging them, does that work? Or does that piss them off more? And we can just kind of go from there and continue to build on that. And you just continue to put those things in your toolkit to pull from. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Another big thing is like you talked about, the comfort items. Do they have a favorite bear? Do they have a favorite animal? Do they have a favorite, action figure? Do they have a favorite toy, right? Do they have whatever the case may be? Do they love holding something in the house that just reminds them of safety? Like, what are those things? And being able to identify them, and let's keep them nearby and make sure they go everywhere we go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I did know they used to, it used to be Spider-Man, but they didn't got big now.
Yeah. Yeah, they got big. They some big boys now, so they probably too cool for all that now. They too cool for all that now.
Yeah.
They too cool for all that. So now it might be, like you said, it might be, I don't know, it might be playing a video game. I don't know. It might be, it might just be having the controller. You never know what it could be. But I think if you just kind of continue to just, pay attention and even ask their foster parent once they come back with you, was there some things that they really gravitated towards, and seeing if you can just simply bring those things home. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Yeah. I think that's a big one. They already talked about how somebody like your father was a big, a safe adult for them, and identifying is there anybody else in their life that makes them feel that same way. And let's continue to make them a part of the village and try to talk to them on a regular basis, even if nothing is wrong. Sometimes just making it a part of their regular routine is a big thing that's going to help them a lot. You see what I'm saying? A weekly phone call with their granddad, maybe a weekly visit, going to hang out with their granddad. I think just keeping their routine as normal as possible will save you a lot of heartache and deal with a little bit less of those tantrums and outbreaks like you talked about. I think that'll help out a whole lot. Then the last one you talked about was like the attention being a major need, right? When you talked about, it was so simple. All you said was just attention. That's just something that they really, really want. But what you really saying on a deeper level is like they want connection, they want presence, right? They want consistency. They want to feel seen. They want to feel important. They want to know like somebody's there for me, right? Yeah. Just like any other kid. And I know that's something that you're gonna try your best to do. Once they back with you, is to try to give them as much attention in a healthy way as possible, but also still teaching them boundaries that I understand you may be having a hard time today. I understand you have a rough day, but sometimes, Ace, you're going to have rough days too. Sometimes you're going to need a break too. Sometimes you're going to need to give all your energy and attention to yourself because you've been giving them so much energy and attention. And that's okay. That's okay. You have to be willing to give yourself that. And you can't beat yourself up because you're doing that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because that's not fair to you. That's not fair to you. And it's impossible to show up for them every single day, trying to give them the consistency and attention and presence and connection when you're drained. How can you connect to somebody when you're drained? You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be you finding that balance where you can't allow the guilt of them not being with you for the X amount of past couple years or whatever. I can't remember off the top of my head how long it's been. You can't allow that lack of connection that you guys have had to make you try to come in and try to get it all back in one setting, because it won't happen. It won't happen. And so don't try to overexert yourself to where you're drained every single day trying to overdo it for them. Still find that time for yourself. Still let them go to their grandparents' house every once in a while on some weekends, right? Find that time for you still. Go hang out with your friends still, because that just helps you become a better mother when you get back with them.
My mom, the way my mama is like, I keep on trying to explain to her that, for one, because we got in this situation, it's because I put too much trust in this particular person.
Got you.
My ex or whatever. So she like, you can't let anybody just watch them. And I'm like, I get that. Like, we ain't going backwards. We're going forward. So she feel like when I get them back, I'm not gonna be able to do nothing with my life. Like, it's got to be all them. Like, I'm not gonna have no life. And I'm like, Mom, this is why I'm building a entrepreneur life, so I won't have to work a 9 to 5. They can go right along with me, modeling, singing. They can be right there. Like, I don't know how she thinking or what, but I'm not saying it's not gonna be hard or difficult or it's gonna be some struggles. I'm not saying that either, but I got support.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people. My mama don't, and she like, well, I don't know those people. I'm like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I know I'm good.
Yep. And I think it's just being able to identify, who are those trustworthy people. Now, obviously, we don't really truly know anybody, man. It's crazy to say that, but honestly, we don't truly know anybody as well as we may think we do. And that's just the reality of it. But at the same time, we do know those are some regular people on a regular basis that they are comfortable with. And so I think it's going to be you leaning onto your mom sometimes. Say, hey, I just need a weekend. And you can't be afraid to ask that or, communicate that, because I think she would love to have them, right? From the sounds of it, she loves those babies. So, like, I just can't see her saying no to, letting them hang out with her for a weekend sometime. And letting that be known, like, hey, Mom, they've been with me all week. I just need a minute just to kind of decompress, right? Just do something nice for myself. I'll be back to get them Sunday or whatever the case may be. And I think kind of having that regular break for yourself is so important, because even just just parents, period. Like, I don't think mothers in particular, I made a video about this the other day. Mothers in particular just do not get enough time to themselves. They just do not get enough time where it's just them. They always got their kids. They always in mother mode. They always on the go. They all, you know what I mean? Like, and I can imagine doing it with multiple kids. So, and imagine doing it with multiple kids that both have autism. My God. So, like, you can't do that all alone. And so the fact that you have a village, that's great, and you have to really lean on them, right? And like you said, just continue to build that trust with them, to where they're gonna be in good hands. You know what I mean? And I would even come up with some measures to where you can be able to regularly check in with them. I don't know whether that's, like you said, like, for instance, if somebody comes and watch them at your crib, maybe you got some cameras in the crib where you can be able to kind of regulate and see what's going on. If they come watch them at your house, or, man, they're at your mom's house, even talking about discussing that. Hey, can we put a couple cameras in here? Like, and I'm just thinking on top of my head to where you can still feel some type of sort of safety So where you can be able to kind of check in and even go back and watch and make sure, like, even if my babies can't, because that's the hardest part sometimes about having babies with autism is like they can't always communicate what they're feeling or what was going on. And you kind of just hoping everything went fine and nobody mistreating them or nobody being mean to them. But sometimes having something to go back and watch helps you out a whole lot, have a peace of mind, because even though they can't communicate it, you can go back and watch it and see yourself. So that's something to think about too down the line. It's like, hey, let me just think about what can I put in place where I can just, have their back, even though they can't always tell me what's going on. You see what I'm saying? And back to that attention piece too. Now these some of the questions you got to ask yourself. What kind of attention do they seek the most? Like what are they wanting from me? Is it just to be loved on? Is it to be babied? Right? Is it somebody just to play with them? Like what are they asking from me the most? Right? When do they seem the most connected to me? When do they seem like they're at their happiest and most peaceful when they're with me? When we're doing what?
Okay.
Is it us having the movie nights? Is it us watching their favorite show? Right? Is it us going for a walk? Like I said, is it them going with me, watching mom work? Right? Just them being able to be with me. Do they love that? Like, when are they just at their most peaceful and most happiest? When is it? And being able to identify those things. Because again, those are things you add to your toolbox. Things that we can do on a regular basis. When it's just been a long day and you just need them to be able to chill and calm down, let's go to our things that we know work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And to keep them from overly doing it and overly wanting attention, you've already on top of it before it can happen. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. No, I was just gonna say, I think before all this started, I think, or happened, I should say, I was planning to make a bag, right? A box bag or whatever, where they can put like their requests in as far as like what they want to do or what's bothering them, what questions they have, and then how they feeling for the day. I was gonna make like different little things to interact with them, and then we sit down together and we go over whatever is in the box or the bag for the day, the week, however I felt to do it.
Yeah.
And to see what we can do, and then if they did good, like in school or whatever, it's gonna be incentive, where we can go out to eat or go to Chuck E. Cheese or somewhere fun together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had stuff like that in plan.
Yeah.
I was really trying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if you notice that that's something that they enjoy, and that's something, and again, that's just one thing that you can continue to try. Because the thing about people don't understand, parenting is nothing but experimenting. No matter what. Even with my daughter, I'm experimenting every day, figuring out what she likes and doesn't like. And I have to go back and put that in my own toolkit and understand she didn't enjoy that so much, so maybe we won't do that again. Right? Versus I know she loves to swim. I know she loves to do this. I know she loves to do that. So these are the things that I try to make sure that we do on a regular basis just to keep her cool when I know she's finna be with me all week and getting on my damn nerves. And so I got to make sure I'm doing these things to make sure that I keep her good and in her own way regulated, right? To make sure that she's not getting overstimulated or doing a bunch of nonsense she shouldn't be doing. Why? Because now she's bored, acting out of boredom, acting out of wanting attention, et cetera, et cetera. All kids are the same, autism or not. You know what I'm saying? In that regard, they all doing the same things to seek attention. So it's just that with autism, it's just amplified and it feels like it's just done on a bigger scale, but it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff. It's just instead of my baby hitting herself, she starts crying. Instead of my baby throwing a tantrum, she just might get quiet and don't want to talk. It's the same stuff. You know what I mean? But we talked about that. So figuring out what does attention mean to them? We talked about that. What are they doing to seek attention? Like you talked about a great example of, acting like he can't tie his shoe, acting like he can't put his own clothes on, acting like they need help with basic tasks. That's attention. That's attention seeking.
Yes.
Right? That's wanting to be baby. That's wanting to be, you know what I mean? Like that's their way of seeking attention. And then being able to determine and decipher the difference between positive attention and negative attention.
Yeah.
Right? Where we'll enable and give in to the positive attention. When you start being a baby and you start acting like you can't do nothing and you want me to feel sorry for you and you want me to enable you, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And you're not going to reward negative attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think you got to kind of hold your balance on that. And you can't feel guilty for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just because. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, when you're reunited with your babies, your guilt is going to want you to do everything for them. Your want to make them never feel how they felt in the past when they were going through their traumas and things is going to want to overlove them so much that you're going to end up overexerting yourself. But at the end of the day, you still got to be a parent. And that's going to be telling them and doing stuff that they not going to like sometimes. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Like you said, and you know what? One of them things sometimes is you're going to be having to tell them no. Something that they hate. Sometimes it's them going to be having to wait.
And they don't like that.
And they don't like that. But sometimes you're going to have to be the bad guy. And that's okay. But the difference is now you have more tools in your toolkit that you can pull from to help you in those situations when you have to be the bad parent. Versus in the past, when they was getting mad when you told them no or when they had to wait, you was getting mad too. But now you have enough patience and you have enough, calmness about yourself to where you can do that and you can still help them regulate while also regulating yourself. That's the difference between 2 and 3 years ago versus now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And the goal, like you said, the goal is not to necessarily get them to like hearing the words no or being told to wait, but just helping them learn how to handle it when they're being told no. Yeah. That's the big difference. How do we handle it? How are we handling it as a family? You see what I'm saying? So this is our goal. This is what I want your goal to be, and I'm gonna wrap this up with you. I don't want to keep you. Your big goal for this week, or just going forward, period. When their emotions get big, your goal as their parent ace is let me lower my voice before I raise it.
Okay.
That's your goal. And secondly, I'm going to try my best to practice giving them choices instead of immediately giving them commands because I'm their mother.
Okay.
Between those two things, I think something simple as those two takeaways is going to help. You're going to see a dramatic difference when they're back in your care. Instead of raising my voice, I'm going to lower it because I know yelling does nothing but amplify the situation. And on that back half of it, let me try my best to give them choices. Now, you can manipulate the choices in a way to where we can lead them to the right answer, but make them feel like they're a part of the conversation and they'll have a choice because it makes them much more receptive to what you're trying to initially get them to do anyway.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you don't need no bunch of you don't need to go in with 50 different strategies to try to get them to regulate in those things. You just need to find 2 or 3 that work and let's just continue to reuse them. But also be open to if something isn't working, which you're able to do because you noticed that the change in music was changing and things of that nature, being open to changing them and finding a new thing once the other one doesn't work anymore.
Got you.
Yeah. So biggest takeaways from today. Let's renew and figure out what that toolkit we're going to use to help them regulate. Let's be able to regulate ourselves by continuing to lower our voice before we raise it. And let's give them a choice in the matter when we are trying to get them when we're trying to get them to calm down, or we're trying to get them to do something. Let's give them a voice, because it makes it much easier for them to give in to what we want them to do as kids.
Got you.
Yeah, I think those are the biggest three. And
I like that.
Yeah, and you have that toolkit like you talked about now, that we build on, right? Leaning more into grandfather, leaning more into grandmother, leaning into your village, giving yourself a break, right, when those times come, because you're gonna need them. Finding those like you said, those toys or those items that they really like that helps them calm down, right? Using that breathing exercise and using those counting exercises. Using touch to the best of your ability without overwhelming them.
Got you.
I think if we can just start from there, and you're already having that knowledge in the back of your head, you'll know where to start from when they come back.
And I said, because they don't really know where I'm at, where I am. They don't even know if I still exist.
Yeah.
That's where we at. And I know for a fact, if they heard my voice or if they talk to me, it would change. Like, they need a conversation from their mom. They need to hear their mom talk to their mom.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you. They need to talk to you. They need your affection. They need your touch. And I think just that alone, and getting back into that sense of normalcy and routine, which is gonna take a while, right? But getting back to that is gonna make things so much easier for them. Because every child needs a routine, autism or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's your big goal, is let's get back to some sense of normalcy, creating a new normal almost, where we still give them space to unpack the past, but we're also trying to build a new future for them and a new present, to where they don't have to always go back to that trauma and always have to relive it, because their life now is so good where they don't have to think about it as much, and they can kind of put that past behind them. And so as we continue to grow, a big goal would be giving them a space to unpack that trauma, to where we can move forward from it. When we start doing more work with them, as we continue this program, we'll start doing more work with them to help hopefully unpack that in healthy ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think even that you'll start to see less tantrums, less outlashes. We'll see less of that the more we start to unpack those things, not because we're trying to bring it back up and make them sad, but because we want them to have a safe space to talk about it, so we can see how it made them feel. And maybe we can even connect some dots as to, oh, that's why you do that. That's why you act that way. That's why you know what I mean? So I'm super proud of you, man, because you made a big jump this week with everything that how vulnerable you've been and open you've been. You're doing amazing, and you're doing the work. So just keep doing it. I got some really good notes here. We had a really good conversation today. So I'm gonna kind of send you like a recap email of everything we discussed, so you can kind of remind yourself about it. Maybe give you some key takeaways, and maybe even give you a few things to consider before we chat again. Give you a little homework. And again, this would just be great for you to have as well. When you start showing it to the courts and things of that nature, showing them you're really doing the work.
I got court tomorrow, so it'll be perfect.
Exactly. You can show them that you're really doing the work. Yeah. You got any questions for me? Anything else you wanted to unpack real quick?
Greatly appreciate you. I think the time is just our thing. It keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I gotta go in there and figure out what that setting is. So whatever time you set, it doesn't change it. Because like I said, it automatically does it. And I got so many emails. I'm not seeing it until like almost it's too late. And so I'm like, man, I'm wondering what she's talking about. So I'll change that up. And if it does change going forward, it'll be probably me doing it. And I'll make sure I communicate that, so you're not confused and sitting there waiting on me. And waiting on me throughout your day, because I know you got stuff to do.
Yes, sir. It'll be 12.
Okay, so noon is your go-to.
Yes, hit my mom too. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll set that in stone. So go ahead and book the next one. And like I said, I'll send that email over with everything included, and then we'll just go from there.
How do I
I think I can resend you the link if you may have lost it, or I can just put it in. I'll put it in the email. Matter of fact.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it in the email. And you just like I said, when you read everything else, it'll be at the end, and you just book the next week.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ace. I'm so proud of you, man. Okay.
Thank you so much.
For sure. Call me or text me if you need anything. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye. That's a good session.
Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.